Hello everybody, it's Bernadette here with another video. Today I'm going to be making a melt and pour soap video for you. I'm going to change it up a bit from the painting and we're going to do soap today. So welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so and hit the notification bell so that you can be updated every time I post a new video. I'm going to be using a clear base soap, 550 grams of clear base soap, and I'm also going to be using 550 grams of opaque white, that is a solid white soap base. I'm going to melt that down and I'm going to be making an orange and ginger fragrance soap using the colors orange and a very light pale yellow in this project. Now to start this project you need to melt down your soap in I'm going to be using a microwave to melt down my soap, and you need a microwave safe container. So I've got this mixing bowl, microwave safe mixing bowl, but I also have this one, and you can use either one to melt down your soap. I'm going to be using this one to melt down the clear base, and all you do is you add the entire pack because it's 550 grams and I'm going to need 550 grams for this project. So you empty the entire contents into your microwave safe melting pot or bowl, and I will be melting this in my microwave in 30-second bursts. After every 30 seconds I'll take it out and I'll give it a stir until the entire contents is properly melted, and it should take about 2 minutes. And in between the 30 seconds I use a spatula to stir. So my soap is completely melted. I've melted it for about 2 minutes in the microwave, and after every 30 seconds I've given it a stir, and I'm using the handy silicone spatula for my stirrer. I'm going to add the fragrance now. Now I'm going to be making just over 1 kilogram loaf of soap. And for every 1 kilogram of soap, you need 2% fragrance. So 2% of 1 kilogram is going to give me 20 milliliters of fragrance. That is what I'm going to add to my soap. But because I'm splitting my fragrance, I'm mixing an orange with a ginger. I'm going to put the one half, I'm going to make orange, and the other half ginger. I'm only going to be using 10 milliliters of fragrance in this 550 mils of clear base. So I'm going to add the orange fragrance and I'm going to color this batch of clear base. I'm going to color orange. So I'm going to add about 4 drops of the orange color first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stir that through now. This is a skin safe color. It's used in cosmetics, so it's perfectly fine to make soap with it as well. You can make your color as light or as dark as you want it to be. I'm very happy with the 4 drops of colorant. Now I'm going to add my fragrance. This is orange fragrance oil, specially for soap. This is a 5 milliliter measuring spoon. I'm going to put in 2 of these measures of the orange fragrance. That's 1 and that's 2. In total, that is 10 milliliters of orange fragrance, and I'm going to stir that through now. So you stir that for just a few, half a minute to 1 minute, just to incorporate the fragrance into the soap base. Oh, it smells so beautiful. Once you're done with your stirring, you can pour it into your container. I'm using a plastic container that I bought at my local crazy store. It's a storage container and it holds a 1 kilogram loaf perfectly, and I get 8 solid bars of soap out of this. So let me pour the soap into the container. I have sprayed my container with rubbing alcohol and it's dry now. So I'm going to pour my soap into this container, and then I'm going to let it cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes before I add my next layer, which is going to be the ginger layer of soap. So that will cool down. I'm going to give it a spray with rubbing alcohol again, just to pop the bubbles. And then I'm going to let it stand for 15 minutes to cool down. So this is a rubbing alcohol spray. You spray your soap and it will dissolve all the bubbles on top. So now it's left to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we're going to do the next layer of soap. In the meantime, while this is cooling, I'm going to melt down my 550 grams of solid white or opaque white soap base. Now my bottom layer, my orange layer of soap, has been sitting for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it has gotten a nice solid skin on top, and that's what you want. This is absolutely normal. The soap will form a skin on top. I've gone ahead and melted my white opaque soap, and it's very, very hot. I use an infrared thermometer to check my temperature of my soap, especially if you are going to merging 2 layers together, 2 different fragrances and 2 different colors. You don't want to pour piping hot liquid soap onto a semi-solid base. It will merge with the space and you won't be able to see the definition of the 2 colors and the 2 fragrances. So this soap needs to be at 53 degrees Celsius before I pour it onto this layer. So let me check. I've got an infrared for thermometer, digital thermometer, and I'm going to check the temperature. It's 64.8 degrees. It needs to come down to 53 degrees. In the meantime, I'm going to add my ginger fragrance, and I'm also going to add my color to this opaque white soap. So I've got my yellow soap colorant, and I'm going to add just 1 drop at a time because I want this color to be a pale yellow. I'm actually happy with the color as it is. So I've only used 1 drop of this yellow colorant. Now I'm going to add 10 milliliters of my ginger fragrance oil. That's 5. and that's 10. That's all you need is 20 milliliters of fragrance in 1 loaf of soap. 1 kilogram, I'm using 1,100 grams, which is 100 grams above 1 kilogram, because I like that size of soap bar. But I haven't adjusted my fragrance. I'm still keeping it to 20 milliliters for the loaf. And I find that the fragrance is absolutely perfect. It stays in the soap until the last little bit has been used. It's absolutely amazing, the soap. It does not go soggy or soft or mushy. It retains its shape until the very last little bit has been used. So let's take the temperature now and we'll see if it's getting closer to what we want, 53 degrees Celsius. It's at 54 degrees. We're nearly there. I'm just going to give it another stir. You can also stir your soap with bamboo sticks. That's perfectly okay. It does the same job as the spatula. If you don't have a spatula, that's also fine. Or you can use a craft stick. That's also perfect to use to stir your soap, to stir your fragrance into your soap, as well as your colorant. That's all perfectly well to use. Let me take the temperature once again, 53. I'm going to pour it into my soap, but before I'm going to pour it in, I'm going to use the skewer, the sharp point of the skewer, and I'm going to make a little indent, almost like a cut into the top layer, because I want the two to merge just a little bit in the center. And before you add your second layer, you have to spray it once again with your rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol. As mentioned before, the rubbing alcohol serves as a binder, almost like a glue, to help blend the two together. So let's pour this layer on top. And I'm going to be using my spatula just to guide it. The reason why I love the spatula is because you get out the last little bit of soap from your container and there's no wasting. There we have it. I'm going to spray it once more with the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to bring up the bubbles and to clear the top layer of the bubbles. And that's what your soap loaf looks like. Orange and ginger. This is going to sit for about 12 hours before I can remove it from this container. I'm going to show you what it looks like and we're going to cut it together. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. I'll see you in a little bit. I'm back. It's been 12 hours since we poured this orange and ginger soap, and I'm about to take it out of its mold. So what you want to do is you want to first separate the sides, just pull the sides away from the bar, and then you want to flip it over and gentle pressure just with the 2 thumbs, and it will easy just slide out of this mold. This is the plastic container that I bought at the local crazy store here in South Africa. And let's look at this beautiful loaf of orange and ginger soap. The seams are smooth. It feels beautiful. We are about to cut it now. Now this is a mitre. It's a wooden mitre. that I got at the local hardware store, and all I did was I sawed right through it so that I could insert my cutting knife. The cutting knife goes nicely down through the slits, and I'm then able to slice my soap, my loaf of soap. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to insert the soap and slide it through. I've got a marker right here which gives me an indication of the width that I want my soap, so all my bars will be relatively even. And all I do is I put my knife right up against the slit and you give it a gentle pressure to slice it. There we go. And that's how the soap looks. Isn't that beautiful? And it smells amazing. This soap is fantastic to use in the bath, in the shower. It's perfect for the elderly. It's wonderful for aromatherapy, for relaxing in the bath. It is absolutely beautiful. Let's see this one. Look at that nice pattern the white made when we poured the ginger soap on top of the orange. It is absolutely perfect, just perfect. So here it is, our 8 bars of orange and ginger soap. Isn't it amazing? It is so beautiful and it smells so wonderful. I'm thinking of making more soap videos for you and uploading them on a Wednesday. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to see more of this kind of videos, I'd like to share my knowledge and skills on soap making, however limited it may be. I'm only doing soap for about 3 years now. Take care, everyone. Stay well. Bye for now.